England have tinkered. Joe Marler back into the starting lineup. Tom Croft back into the starting lineup. England's most experienced player, Dan Cole, 40th cap. Owen Farrell is back in the all-important number 10 shirt. England's tries, just the one in the last 3 games, scored by Manu Tuilangi against France. From the bench, they will pour round about the hour mark. Countdown to the climax of the Six Nations 2013. Steve Watt, today's referee. Owen Farrell back in the white of England. We are off at the Millennium Stadium. Wales can win the title. England can win the title and the Grand Slam. Toby Faletau in his own 22. First touch for Mike Phillips. Dan Biggar. Alex Good. Ben Youngs looks for number 8, Tom Wood. Captain Chris Robshaw to hooker Tom Youngs of Leicester, his brother Ben Youngs. Alan Wynne-Jones and Ian Evans back doing defensive work. Lee Halfpenny turns, safely dabs down. Good afternoon, Brian.
Good afternoon, Eddie. Well, a reasonable start for England from a bit of a loose kick from Dan Biggar, but that was an equally loose one from Owen Farrell. Wasn't meant to bounce inside, it was meant to dribble into the corner.
Owen Farrell to his captain Chris Robshaw. Ian Evans with another tackle from the second row for Wales. Farrell, a tester for Dan Biggar. Took it well. Justin Tipperick. The captain, Gethin Jenkins, the offload, Alan Wynne-Jones, Adam Jones. Wales prepared to risk the passes out of the tackle. Alex Cuthbert. There's one pass that didn't come off. Advantage being played. Loose pass from Ben Youngs. Bounces for Owen Farrell. That comes off Toby Faletau. George North watches it spin off the line, back into play. And good afternoon, Shane Williams.
Afternoon, Eddie. I think there's intent by both sides at the moment to play with ball in hand. A few little dint kicks by Biggar there and of course Farrell. I think we're going to see a lot of that, a lot of testing with the kick this afternoon.
Well, England have the worst line-out percentage in the Six Nations, but Wales are at 83, so not bothered behind. Wales caught nothing there.
Tom Croft with the quickly taken line-out. Tom Youngs has the ball secured at the back of this maul. Brother Ben goes digging for it. Chris Ashton off the right wing. Farrell knock on by Manu Tuilangi.
I think
advantage being played.
Wales are lucky there. There was certainly room on the outside, and all of a sudden England under pressure in their own 22. Great kick through there.
Alex Good has to go scampering back. So from promising an attack, England turned. Wales now with the throw inside the England 22.
Well, the work had been done there by the forwards. Tuilangi just taking his eye off the ball because there was space outside, and then Wales with the turnover, intelligent kick, and it's good. No option.
It was a clever kick by Dan Biggar there as well. He knew that England were on the attack. He knew that there was no one back in defence for England. Great kick.
Richard Hibbard finds Sam Warburton. Biggar. Alex Cuthbert just had to slow down his run. Richard Hibbard, the hooker. Mike Phillips just checks the blind side, then goes on his own. Good tackle by Tom Wood. It's there, big Ian Evans. Hibbard again. Bigger, Jamie Roberts. Loud blast from Steve Walsh.
I didn't know it was coming, sorry, mate.
Knock on, England put in.
Make it inside.
Well, frenetic start, as it always was going to be. Actually, it's almost impossible to hear yourself talk in this atmosphere. Incredibly electric sound from both the Welsh and the English fans. The players have to keep the nerve and the calm. Well, the choosing to take the ball by the wingers. England defending well.
I think this is an area where Wales would be concerned. They need to be more patient when they get in the opposition 22. They have shown in other games they can get in the 22 enough times, but lose the ball far too often.
Here we have one of the key areas of confrontation, and it will take some sorting out. The England front row, Joe Marler, Tom Youngs and Dan Cole against Gethin Jenkins, Richard Hibbard and Adam Jones. Steve Walsh's patience being tested. Everybody will have a view.
Gap's okay, let's go. Sure, mate, no problems. Yeah.
That's the 22-metre line. England with the put-in, then Youngs to feed. Adam Jones trying to exert pressure, and Wales get the penalty. The hit, Brian, all important.
The Wales and Wales got what they call the go forward. The law says you can't push before the ball is fed into the scrum. Not feeding in time.
It's only a free kick, not a penalty.
There's a feed for not feeding in time, and Wales have sensibly opted for the scrum again. A psychological blow for England, exerted by the Welsh. Got the nudge on early. Marler going inside, going outside. Good scrumming by Jones. Adam Jones.
Same 22, same set piece, different put-in. Mike Phillips with the feed and an enticing blindside.
Yeah, well, it's obviously there's Wales have got no one on the right-hand side at the moment. Brown is there. He's continued to stay there, which means we've still got numbers on the left. It depends what we actually do here, but I think Wales have got to have a set move and attack the back line of England.
Hook us there, please.
That presupposes, Shen, the ball will actually come out at any point to you, because it's not at the moment.
Well, we've been 5 minutes already waiting for this ball to come out the scrum, so I'm kind of hoping it does come. It's a great area for Wales to attack, and like I said, Brown has continued to stay on the left-hand side of the scrum, which means we do have numbers.
Alex Cuthbert is standing alongside centre Jonathan Davis. Mike Phillips feeds. Straight scrummage for the moment. It's gone down. Steve Wallace says play on. Wales go to the open side, and this is Cuthbert. Sam Warburton hands off Owen Farrell. Good tackle by Tom Wood. Jonathan Davis. And again, Owen Farrell has to make the tackle. Toby Falatau. Tackle by Manu Tuilangi.
This is where they need to be patient. England are very good at defending in their own 22. They're not putting many numbers in the ruck at the moment, which means obviously they got their players out in the defensive line.
Jamie Roberts just makes a yard through the tackle. Dan Biggar. Jonathan Davis straightens it. Phillips keeps on heading right. Lee Halfpenny from fullback. Wales do have the penalty. They never made any ground. That's still a 22, but the reward is the penalty.
I think this is where patience comes in, Eddie. They're keeping the ball well. They're going through the phases. They're putting the pressure on the English defence. You know, there's an opportunity now for 3 points. It's good play by Wales.
And equally pertinent when you're talking about patience, Cheney's in defence as well. England weren't conceding ground after several phases there. Wales had not really made anything over the advantage line. And if that's the case, as defenders, you have to back yourself and your teammates and not put your hands in there, not take the extra inch, not take the extra step.
Yeah, certainly. It's probably a needless penalty, really, considering England have knocked Wales back 10 yards outside the 22. So it's a bit of discipline by England there.
Only the 5 against Italy. This is the first penalty of the game. Steve Walsh just having a word with Adam Jones. It makes a change, Brian, to see only 1 free kick at the scrummages so far.
Yeah, been advising him how to prop. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it, really?
That lot says it all. Wales have taken the lead at home against England. Wales 3, England 0. 10 minutes gone. Long way to go.
That's such a big kick as well. Under pressure, we all know there was 75,000 people here, willing that to go over. But for him to step up and just coolly slot that, just to show the nerves he's got at the moment. So it's 3-0 to Wales.
Farrell drops it towards the Welsh 22. Mike Phillips waits. Phillips just wriggles away from a couple. It's a tackle in the end by Joe Launchbury, who had the injury scare, the hyperextended elbow, but here he is. Toby Faletau. Phillips. Chris Robshaw is back for England. Inside him, Alex Good. Lee Halfpenny waits. Robshaw follows up with a tackle. Dan Cole penalised. Phillips takes it quickly. Mike Phillips makes ground. Alan Wynne-Jones is with him. Mike Phillips goes on himself, head down. Tom Croft was one of the people standing in his way. Gethin Jenkins with the loose pass. Jonathan Davis picks up. Adam Jones pauses over the ball. Faletau. Tipperick. Stand bigger. Oops. It's scrambled back on the England side. Barrett.
Certainly
Tom Youngs.
Owen
Farrell to Ilangi. It's a run for Mike Brown. Looks for the pass. Lee Halfpenny kicks downfield. The ball still in play.
Great scramble defence by Toby Faletau there. He got back well, covered the inside pass, took the Brown pass very easily and got the pass away to Lee Halfpenny. Great play.
Faletau goes up and gathers and escapes 2 tackles. Dan Biggar, Justin Tipperick, short to Jonathan Davis. Good tackle on him by Joe Marler. And again, England penalised at the breakdown. Chris Ashton.
Well, that's just dull. You're right from the referee. They're in exposed, and I know he's hyped up, and I know he wants to get into the game. However, you know, there was no pressure on England's line. You're going to be put back into your own half, and that sort of, on a big occasion, that sort of thing, not acceptable.
Yeah, well, obviously ill-disciplined by Ashton there as well. His mindset isn't in a good place at the moment with his mindset. Certainly didn't look to be doing any favours for England there, really.
Well, he's under pressure. He knows he's got to get involved in the game because people have been criticising him, etc. But you've got to contribute in the right areas in the right way, and that was not the right area or the right way.
Well, it's not the start he really wanted, but I'm sure we'll see more of Ashton in this game.
Richard Hibbard. Wales have a fullish line. Tony Faletau is still out in the 3/4, but that's because he's been hurt. Not down, but slow for a moment. They win the ball without their number 8, Wales, and start a slow march. Alan Wynne-Jones comes away with it. Stays on his feet long enough to tell the troops where he is. Mike Phillips. Jamie Roberts. And he just gets through the tackle of Chris Robshaw. It's that extra yard in the tackle. Jonathan Davis. England have stolen it, Ben Youngs. Oh, and it's nearly an interception by Alex Cuthbert. Was it deliberate, that knock-on? They play on through Alex Goode, the fullback. Chris Robshaw, tackle. It is a helter-skelter first quarter here. England through Brad Barrett. Did have a little overlap just for a brief moment. Lee Halfpenny waits. Mike Brown in pursuit.
I think Mike Brown's been an unsung player for England this championship. I'll talk about Ashton, but Brown has been fantastic as far as what I've seen. He's worked hard, he's good under the high ball, and his defence has been immaculate throughout.
Big up. Straight down the middle. It'll keep play in the England half for the moment.
Which is the important point. Now, what is happening here? Not a lot, really.
Ian Owens, Jeff Parling. Good afternoon to the pair of them.
I think that's a UFC move as far as I know, to be honest with you.
And this is where this man has been very, very good.
Well, he doesn't make many mistakes, to be fair, Lee Halfpenny. But like I said earlier, it was a good chase by Brown. Managed to put Lee Halfpenny down very early. Didn't leave him make any yards from the kick.
Lee Halfpenny just ducks under the tackle of Tom Wood. And again, England penalised at the breakdown. And I think that's as many penalties in this match as they conceded in the whole game against Italy.
Number 2, White.
This is within kickable range. So look, Youngs is a tackler. Can't play anything until he's on his feet, which he isn't. Robshaw, as soon as the referee calls. Well, whether he say that's a ruck or not is open to debate. Doesn't matter because the referee has made his mind up and it's a kick.
I think Robshaw's unlucky there, but I think it was Youngs that actually gave the penalty away.
Well, it has been a breathtaking start. Jonathan.
Feel that a quick penalty, a quick free kick, and Mike Phillips took it very, very quickly. The ruck is very good for Wales at the moment, but just watch, this is the only opportunity. He makes the break, but unfortunately it's Alan Wynne-Jones who's on his left hand side, not George North. Opportunity.
I think Rob Howley as well would want Wales to go out and play with tempo. It's what England have been doing throughout the championship, and that was the intent there by Mike. Obviously it was a shame there was no one with him, but it was a good run by Mike Phillips. He made 50-60 yards there, got in a good position, and they showed his strength again by shrugging off Ashton.
It's one of the sights of the Six Nations. He does get himself in a state before games, Lee Halfpenny, but when it comes to the kicking operation, he is calmness itself.
Well, the irony is that when Wales have put pressure on England, England have defended well. When they've been in areas where they haven't been under pressure, they've given the penalties away, which have awarded point. Well, not awarded, but Wales have taken the points on offer, and it's put them into it. Well, there's going to be a time. I'm not sure whether Steve Walsh said enough is enough, but there's going to be a time when that comes for England. I
think Stuart Lancaster would have said in the week as well, no silly penalties. You know, you don't want to be 6-0 down after 18 minutes, in a Grand Slam deciding game. But Lee Halfpenny, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Cool, having played with him and trained with him, he'd have been a nervous wreck the last couple of weeks. But fair play to him.
George North around the ball out of the 22, and here's Alex Goode, the England fullback, coming back at Wales. Richard Hibbard with the tackle. Goode delivers. Barrett checks, cuts back against the grain, makes ground. Penalty to England.
Pass the ball.
Well, he's given the same, exactly the same as he did against Rob Shaw, which is consistent.
Pass the ball and then back onto it.
And one thing is certain for England, they will not win a game if they give this number of penalties away in this.
With your hands on the ground and then come back onto the ball. You've got to go straight onto it.
That's what they call dragging, isn't it? Players are coached to throw themselves beyond the ball, the hands. Then when they get picked up by the opposition players, they then come onto the ball and take it off. Steve was saying you've got to put your hands straight on the ball.
I think 12 months ago as well, you know, that wouldn't have been a penalty. So the rules have changed, obviously. You have to show that you are actually releasing the player on the ball. Unfortunately, Sam Warburton there just didn't do that. And this guy doesn't miss many either, so you know, where's your money?
The routine of looking at the ball, head to one side, sizing up the posts. Enough. England are on the board. 6-3.
Lots of people in fancy dress. Well, England don't necessarily deserve that, but it will calm their nerves to get registered on the board. It doesn't matter how they go over.
Owen Farrell, 1 penalty, Lee Halfpenny 2. This is Dan Biggar. And as is the custom, it's Chris Robshaw who takes the kick-off for England. Halfpenny jumps under no real pressure. Tom Wood with a tackle. Adam Jones to Warburton. Dan Biggar going high. Alex Good. Cuthbert couldn't quite grab it. Advantage being played, knock on. We'll have a scrummage where Steve Walsh is.
I think England not committing many players to the ruck at the moment either. It shows that they're willing to put their players in the defensive line and see what Wales are going to actually bring to the game. Which seems to be, you know, keeping them in line at the moment.
Well, England will be desperate to stop the big runners, you know, the big wingers. North, who makes a lot of ground, has made the most ground for Wales in this championship. And so far they're doing okay. In defence is fine. You just have to keep their hands off the ball.
Good ring.
Crouch! Touch! Sit!
Front rows pop up. Wales get the penalty. Popping up out of the scrum. Adam Jones against Joe Marler. Richard Hibbard against Tom Youngs.
Well, this is
Giffen Jenkins against Dan Cole.
Sorry, this is one of the problems when the ball isn't hooked straight to the back. If anything comes thereafter, ball is stuck in the second row's feet and you can't get it out. And England are under pressure and they have to find a way. Dan Cole has to find a way to get his shoulder down around and anchor that scrum.
This is a massive psychological boost for Wales at the moment. England haven't come under this pressure at all throughout the tournament. Wales have obviously had a very strong scrum. Adam doing very well there and putting them under pressure, and again it's another 3-point attempt.
Well done, Shane, you have successfully passed your scrummaging exams. Welcome to the madness.
I've been swatting all week.
Rob Howley in the dark blazer, Sean Edwards to his right.
They'd be willing this kick certainly to go over, pull the pressure off a little bit.
Mike Brown, Chris Robshaw, clubmates at the Harlequins. They can only stand and watch. Over she goes. Third penalty. penalty. Wales 9, England 3.
He just makes it look so easy as well. You know, talking 30-40 yards out there, never in doubt as soon as he's kicked it.
I'm going to tell you what that does for forwards and everyone else. Once you get rewarded for that sort of scrum, you want to do it again and again and again.
Exactly. And like I said earlier, psychologically, it's just put Wales on the front foot.
Yeah, I just think that you know, they're giving a lot of penalties away, the English, because it's so fast and the intensity, and they're clearing out of the rucks and moors, and he's just had a word, the referee, to say roll away, and that's been their problem. It's just so intense.
Good. Adam Jones did well to make a tackle in open play. Ben Youngs. Tom Wood hard to Tom Youngs. Large cluster of England forwards here. Farrell finds Chris Ashton, not a forward. Farrell again. Long to Mike Brown. Good tackle on him by Alex Cuthbert.
Just a little bit lateral by England at the moment. They're trying to get the ball to Brown and the likes of Ashton, but Wales are managing to push them to the sideline and make sure they don't get any lines there.
Penalty against Wales. Well, he's being very strict at this breakdown area. The instruction, roll away.
Again, another one of them needless penalties, really.
Jamie Roberts losing his footing there. There is a feeling that when the roof is closed, it does increase the moisture levels down at ground level.
Well, it does. The misconception is when the roof's closed, it's dry out there. It does get very wet and dewy, very slippery underfoot, and we can see there Jamie having to change direction a little bit later than he'd anticipated, lost his foot in, and you actually do see a lot of that off the ball.
That line from Ashton is one that they've been begging him to run more often in the most recent weeks. It hasn't been there. Didn't quite go through the gap that it might have done, but still, at least it's involving him in the game in an area which he can play in.
Certainly.
Flags stayed down.
Well, he is human after all, to be fair. Again, we were talking about the kicks and they make it look easy, but it was a long way out. Certainly a lot of pressure on to get that one. But again, it's put Wales on the front foot. The 3 pounds up again.
Dandigo down towards Alice Goods. Richard Hibbard made contact. Referee had a good look at it. Was happy for play to continue. Good. On halfway, eventually goes to ground. Jeff Parling sidesteps Ian Evans.
Tackler.
Again, another slip of the foot there on the surface.
Turnover to Wales. No, it's not, but they do have the put in.
Well, that was brilliant.
He's okay.
Steve Walsh making the point. People have to understand the laws. The tackler can get up from any angle. Doesn't matter if it looks offside, provided he makes the first one, he can just stand up and play the ball, and that's what Steve Walsh is saying. You watch here. He's allowed to do that from that side. That's what Richie McCaw does better than anyone in world rugby. People say that he's offside, he isn't.
I think as long as the intent's there to release the player, it's legal.
Alex Cuthbert on the far side of the field. Wales again go forward at the scrimmage, and England get the penalty.
Well, funnily enough, I thought that Adam Jones was doing his job there because he split Marler and Youngs, which is why Young's left shoulder went up.
It's not poles, guys, it's corner.
Owen Farrell kicks for touch rather than goal.
That's quite an interesting decision there, really. I think it's within Farrell's territory. Hasn't decided to go for the 3 points, has gone for the corner. Maybe a bit of confidence there, I don't know.
May also be a case that England have not had much territory and not had chance to develop any sort of momentum and phase play in Welsh territory.
Overthrown, Justin Tippett picks up the scraps. Roberts,
Very happy with that.
Doesn't do much of that, but it's a good kick. Or was the play taken back into the 22? It was. Craig Joubert, the touch judge, will take the line out all the way back in the Welsh 22.
Well, England have another chance to get this right, but with the advantage of 2 jumpers in Wood and Croft, who are big line-out options, they simply cannot afford it. It's not acceptable for them to not be able to secure this phase of play.
Well, they've got a second chance now anyway, so we'll see what they got.
They go for the other one, switch the focus, and then come hard in midfield through Chris Ashton. Dan Biggar with the tackle. Quickly recycled ball for England. Rob Shaw takes it. Ian Evans with the tackle. Owen Farrell, Mike Phillips tracks back. Oh, Richard Hibbard with the tackle on Joe Marler. You can hear the crunch up here. Brad Barrett. Manu Tuilagi.
That's the first time we've seen Tuilagi with ball in hand, I think, and it's certainly something that England would want them to get his hands on the ball a little bit early in the game.
Falatau with a tackle on Rob Shaw. Farrell to Barrett. England's first bit of pressure. Dan Biggar with the interception. Roberts, George North gets away from Chris Ashton. Mike Brown hits it. The tap tackle by Mike Brown on George North. Lee Halfpenny goes in it. Jeff Parling has won the ball back for England. How important will that tackle be?
Need to be careful here. There's no one back.
Toby Falatau has to get back. Chris Ashton in pursuit. Oh my word, what a game!
Well, one way or another, and that was brilliant struggle defence by Mike Brown, because all opened up. It came from England not just having enough patience. That never was going to be on there. Floated past for the man inside. Other options have got to go, and then you would have backed him. But great work by Parling as well to get that many men back.
Well, there was a try saver there for sure. You know, we all know George North has got plenty of pace, even with 50 yards to spare. You know, I know what my money was on there, but it was a great tackle there by Brown.
Richard Hibbard, who was involved at the very outset with a crunching tackle, now has to do the accurate stuff. Shortened Welsh line out. It's gone loose. Falatau sweeps up. Dan Biggar off his wrong foot, but it's a good clearance under severe pressure. Jonathan.
Yeah, I just feel it's such an exciting game, but the dark arts of the ruck, just watch what happens here. It's slow ball, he gets tangled up, just quick look, the defence is up, and Tom Young realises that, just takes the ball back in. Both sets of defence have been absolutely amazing.
Drop one. Full.
Well, I feel that England have weathered the earliest storm because they were under a lot of pressure and not playing well, and starting now to do things properly.
Croft with the line-out win. Jamie Roberts upends Manu Tuilagi in midfield. Oh, the tackling is absolutely brutal. Wales have turned the ball over. Justin Tipperick and his blue cap go in. No, England have claimed it back again. Alan Wynne-Jones goes over the top. Ben Youngs, Owen Farrell, late switch of play. Behind out, Cuthbert, Mike Brown. Lee Halfpenny comes away with it. Lee Halfpenny checked, but the ball has gone way downfield. Tipperick is in pursuit. This is Alex Good. Back for England. Tipperick arrives. Oh my word, we've talked about constriction and oppression in the Six Nations. At this late stage, it has come to life.
Well, he said there's no passion in rugby. Don't you believe it? It's out there, it's on the field, it's around this stadium, but hopefully with some civility.
It really is, end-to-end stuff at the moment. It's just Mike Brown there losing it in the Wales 22. Great kick by Lee Halfpenny. Next thing you know, we're in the England's 25. So it really is end-to-end stuff at the moment. Fantastic rugby.
Alwyn Jones wins the line out. Sam Warburton. Falatau. Richard Hibbard.
No, White, stay where you are.
Dan Biggar. He's a little dart himself, but he's surrounded by white shirts. He gets it back. Ian Evans has a big hand on the ball. Different approach by Wales. Coming straight through. It doesn't work because away comes Joe Marler, Jeff Parney, Chris Robshaw. Owen Farrell. Advantage over. Play on. This is Jamie Roberts going back for Wales.
Well, that's a great kick by Farrell, but I want to make a point about experience and about playing in stadia and about under pressure in these sort of games. When Mike Brown had the ball there, the better option for nothing, unless there was a certain pass on that would go to hand, is just to step inside and get the ball back again. Same again with Ben Youngs when he came short, tried to get the ball to Owen Farrell. If he's not going to be dead there when you're in the 22, just have the confidence to stay there, somebody else will come.
Yeah, and it's about keeping the ball in key areas. Like I say, if Mike Brown would have kept the ball there, would have put Wales under even more pressure. He didn't need to make the pass. Having said that, if the pass would have come off, it would have been a good move.
Dan Cole comes away from a line-out that went into that dreaded no-man's land between forwards and scrum half. Owen Farrell behind Brad Barrett, Jonathan Davis and George North. And Jamie Roberts.
Good did well there under pressure.
Good did well, didn't he, to get that back. Tom Wood, Chris Ashton, swallowed up by George North and Adam Jones. Could be another turnover ball.
There'll be a penalty.
It's there for Ben Youngs, though.
He's lucky to get away with that.
Parling, crunching tackle by Mike Phillips. Ben Youngs goes himself. Lee Halfpenny comes forward for it. And Lee Halfpenny comes away with it.
He's just cleaning everything up at the moment, Lee Halfpenny. Little kicks through, deft kicks. He's really, he's really busy. He's really working hard to get his body over the line. Really brave.
Dan Biggar. Good. Two Welsh front rowers, Adam Jones and Richard Hibbard with the tackle. Farrell, short to Chris Ashton. Characteristic swoop by Sam Warburton, arms out and then closing tight. Farrell changes direction with the kick. Alex Cuthbert goes back and has the confidence to run out and carries on running. Gethin Jenkins, the captain, arrives.
There's certainly numbers on the left here that want to move it.
Lee Halfpenny, Jonathan Davis, George North cuts inside. England fall over themselves a bit there. George North can't get a boot to it. Alex Good comes away with it. There was a knock-on. We'll have a scrum down. Oh, Brian.
Well, I don't know about you, I'm out of breath watching this. And whilst it not be the best high-quality technical rugby, it is end-to-end, and you've got to give credit to both sets of players, not only for their ambition, but for getting back in defensive mode and making these tackles.
Boys, we're scrumming.
And Farrell's done well to get back here to track back George North. Like I say, he's one of the quickest guys in the field. And it seems to be end-to-end stuff, a lot of turnovers, but the impact and the intent of these plays is just incredible at the moment.
And funnily enough, both fullbacks good for England, and Halfpenny have been the stars so far. See more of them than nearly anyone else, and they've both been exemplary.
the physicality in the game at the moment is just incredible, and I'm glad I'm sat up here, to be honest with you guys.
I think it's very interesting that you talk about a change of game. I think every player has had the ball in their hands, wingers, props. It's a different type of game today.
Well, I just heard a call of no penalties there, and it was an English accent. And they would say that because there have been 2 from this phase of play.
Stay down. Crouch. Touch. Set.
Well, as is customary now, everybody is talking to the touch judge, making their own points.
I don't suppose they're listening to the singing. Steve Walsh takes a deep breath and decides to reset.
He almost looked like he didn't have any answers there for that one, and just thought we'll have another one.
Look at the binding on this side. Cole got the bind, Jenkins didn't.
Really is a great atmosphere today. You can't hear yourself think. And I walked through the tunnel earlier. I was very privileged to walk back through the tunnel. Felt like I was playing again. Goosebumps and everything. It was fantastic.
Touch. Set.
England going backwards, yes. Wales, free kick, only Brown.
Sure, that wasn't 10 there, to be fair.
They'll be round 5 though, Shane, so that's all right.
Alan Jones to Richard Hibbard. Jeff Parling with the tackle. Adam Jones with the pickup, tackled by his opposite number 3, Dan Cole.
I think Wales have noticed as well that England aren't putting too many players in for the ruck. They've installed this pick and go system at the moment, which is working.
Alan Jones that time. Here's Falatau. Phillips to Bigger.
Just left of the post.
Close. Oh,
We've got better eyesight than I have. Well, that was the right thing to do. What a breath. Well, Eddie, fine. Half-time.
well, it has been such an absorbing first half, and it's been that close all the way through as it did at half-time. I'm going to do a Jonathan here. I'm going to say, I need to lie down. Wales 9, England 3.
Well, Eddie's word was absorbing, compelling, exhilarating was the atmosphere beforehand. It really was. I've never heard an anthem sung quite like the Welsh anthem was sung today. And England has stayed in the game for the large part when they haven't been in the game, because Wales had all the territory and all the possession, and Lee Halfpenny kicking his penalties, although Owen Farrell, with that now very distinctive style that we've been used to over the course of the championship, in off the post. But he's missed one, and there's been a lot of contact at the breakdown area, which has gone the Welsh way by and large, but a wonderful tap tackle by Brown stopped George North going under the post, and we're left with a situation where Wales lead England by 9 points to 3 at half-time, and that is what the table would look like were there to be no further scoring in the second half. You notice as well that earlier on today in Rome, Italy beat Ireland by 22 points to 15. France against Scotland, 8 o'clock tonight at Stade de France. Match facts, and pick what you will from these in terms of turnovers and penalties. Interesting that England only conceded 5 penalties against Italy last week in the entire match. They've conceded 5 in the first half against Wales today. 10 missed tackles by England as well. 4 turnovers, 1 though. It's kind of a bit take it one side, take it the other. We're left with a match that is still balanced on a knife edge. And Jonathan, first things first, and we'll talk about the game in a second, about the atmosphere, because we've been stuck in our little cubicle here. What's it like out there?
Well, pre-match was incredible. I think Clive said, look, that's the noisiest stadium we've ever been in, and he's been few stadiums. The atmosphere is incredible. And I think the atmosphere has just raised the tempo of the game. It's like 100 miles an hour. They're piling in, right? I do feel the last 20 minutes of this game, people are going to be out on their feet, and that's where the bench are going to be crucial. But I do feel that the scrum is a huge element for Wales. That could be a crucial factor. But also, because of the intensity and the pace of the ruck area, the two open side flankers at the moment are maybe dictating the game. We haven't seen much of Croft. Rob Shaw has been amazing, I have to say. He has been immense. But I think the 2 against 1 at the moment is just giving Wales that slight advantage.
Clive, your thoughts?
First of all, fantastic game. I mean, no tries, but the sheer intensity. I'm just looking at the physical. The defences are amazing, both sides. And I think all that's happened here, England have kicked the ball a little bit more than Wales, which means Wales, because they've just kept the ball, hence the penalty count's gone in their favour. And Lee Halfpenny has scored the 3 points. But just the defence is awesome. And I've said this from the start, this will go in the last 10 minutes. I just think the England bench might be a little bit stronger. So the game's on here for England still, and I think they're in great shape.
Applaud Wales. The experience, they've been here, they've done it, and the preparation seems to have been spot on from Howley and his coaches. The approach by those guys has just been power, pace, hit. And when the opportunity's on to go, they've knocked it out wide and they've really attacked England. I think mentally they started the game and physically in a much better position than England.
Although, of course, Tuolangi, in a sense, had the first opportunity.
It's not very long into the game and you think this is a set move by England, which we've not seen a great deal of. It's brilliant. Barrett comes on a dummy run there, sucks in Roberts, the ball goes out and wide, and that's the space, that's the channel they're looking to attack, because it is very wide. Jonathan Davies gets caught in no man's land. Now if this ball is taken, it's all on. It has to be a try. Tuolangi goes through, but maybe the pressure of the occasion, not used to doing moves, that was on.
In a game of this magnitude, right, that is a huge opportunity. No matter how early it is in the game, right, they've trained that, they've practiced that, he's got to take that. He takes that, right, Cuthbert is in, and he just looks for the left-hand winger, and the winger scores. And it's just been frantic. The Welsh Cuthbert's been rushing in because he has been caught short on a few occasions. Yeah, but he's been caught short on a few occasions. He's had to come in and blitz.
It's a great thing that England had the ambition to play there.
Yes.
And they just tore him apart from set play. The gap was huge. And to say Tuolangi was a classic outside centres. You hit that hole, you score. And it was a chance gone.
As a bit of fun, several hours ago at the start of the programme, we showed you doing a tackle on him, which was a crucial part of a match.
Yeah.
And what have we had today?
Well, I think this is a great tackle. There have been a few handling errors or intercepts. Just watch this. He gets away, he pushes. That's Brown, the right-hand winger.
He's only against Croft. Look at that. No, I mean, he's going to win. Exactly. He's going to win it.
Well, he's got Croft in front of him. Croft is really quick, right? That's a great tackle. But you had Tipperick on his inside, irrespective of how quick Croft is, 2-on-1.
No, I would have backed North to make it there.
You have to say, North's gone straight to Ashton again.
Yeah.
That's where it came from.
There's no surprise there, Clive.
He just swatted Ashton out of the way, and that's what changes games. That was an amazing tackle by Brown.
I do think, look, Ashton, he's coming from a rugby league background. He wasn't the greatest tackler because he was a full back and he could hide a little bit. But his attitude of mind, his execution of tackles is dreadful. He gets in the wrong position. If he just goes high all the time, he's just got to go low and drop his man.
Which is unusual for the league guys. Their technique is absolutely spot on. It's what I think the league coaches bring in. They've taught real technique to union players. So Ashton, coming from league, should be really good at that. And that was his classic one-on-one tackle and fell off it.
Last 10 minutes or so, the game suddenly was helter-skelter, end-to-end stuff, and an opportunity, perhaps, a wonderful little kick through by Farrell that gave England an opportunity.
I didn't think there was going to be any space. I thought it was a kick to nothing, but he's seen the space there. The defence hasn't rushed up as quickly, and Brown's on his own. And it's a great weighted kick. In he goes, but the scrambled defence by Wales was great, and we thought it was all over, but it carries on and it's sort of end to end. But what great vision by Farrell.
I think the great thing about from attack, if you can somehow be disciplined to keep one player either side of the pitch all the time. I mean, it's not easy, but if you can, you keep one on that wing, one on that wing. it just, when the defence comes in, it just leaves those on for the kick.
As Italy proved last Sunday.
As Italy proved.
I think
it's having the distance kick one either side.
But you also know that player is there.
I think
when it's on.
I think we question game awareness in the professional game, but I think it's been very good today because defences have been so tight and rushing up quickly, and Farrell is chipping. I think Young's chipped, so they'll stand back a little. But also now in the last 5 minutes, Wales realised that the English are spreading, and all of a sudden what they've done is pick up and go through the middle and trying to draw the defenders in. So it's great awareness by both teams.
I think we had 16 tries on the opening weekend, and we thought this was going to be the great try-fest to end them all of Six Nations. And 15 since then. There was just one in Rome this afternoon. And Wales haven't conceded a try now for 316 minutes. But tries don't necessarily make for compelling matches, do they? And this has been riveting.
This is an awesome game, John, but you have to say that the Welsh defence is out, and the English defence, and you can still enjoy rugby with defence because the guys are smashing in, and it will take its toll. I think there will be tries in this game, but they're going to come in the last 20, and again, I think with some fresh players come on, it could open up this game because it's such a physical game.
We've been talking about what's been happening behind the scrum for the course of this half-time interval. Let's talk about what's happening in the scrums. Brian Moore is the obvious person to talk to about this, but Jonathan made the point that he thinks this is an area where Wales are in the ascendancy and may well be absolutely crucial when it comes to the second half. What do you think, Brian?
And he's absolutely right. Whether you talk about the nicety of the laws and the precise application doesn't matter, because Wales have got what they call the go forward, and they are putting the penalties here. The law says you're not allowed to push before the ball comes in. That's a well-timed shove. Ball is down, and they're going to get everything. This is the problem when you don't have hookers hooking. When you hook the ball and it doesn't go to the back row, when you come under pressure, you're constantly trying to kick it back. Second rows are trying to kick it back, and you have trouble. Now, I think he gave a penalty to which way England on that one, but again, Adam Jones had come across. He got inside Marler. He got into Youngs, who's having a difficult time. He's been put in a lot of pressure. England have to be tighter in the front row, and they have to push as early as Wales. Look, I don't have a problem with Wales pushing illegally early, because they all do that, and England have to wise up and do the same. Because if they come under pressure and give two more penalties that kick kickable away, the game will be out of sight.
OK, well, we've got obviously one half still to come here in Cardiff, and we have a full game to come to round off this year's RBS Six Nations in Paris, live from 7:30 tonight from the Stade de France against Scotland. Between the end of this game at 7:30, by the way, we have a forum on the red button. Highlights of this final weekend tomorrow night from midnight on BBC Two, and again on Monday at 1:40 at lunchtime. And a special programme to mention inside Stuart Lancaster's England. Alistair Eakin has spent the entire week inside the England camp, and some really fascinating interviews and an insight into what it's like to be at the heart of an international rugby operation the week before a match of this magnitude. So Wales, as things stand, lead, as Chris Robshaw's out there with the England team, but no sign of Wales at the moment. Wales lead by 6. If this situation continues for the next 20 minutes or so, Wales win, but they don't win the championship. Where does that leave them?
We've got 40 minutes to go, of this game, and I think that it's a long time. There's a lot going to happen. If it's this score with 10 minutes to go, Wales won't change anything. They'll put the pressure, they'll play the game in the right areas and try and nick that last penalty. But England will do the same.
England have got to play more territory. They really are under the cosh at the moment, and they haven't been in the game, but they're still in the game, and that's the most important thing.
I don't think England will be 2-2 to start at 9-3 down. First 10 minutes they got absolutely smashed. So I think 9-3 they'll be okay, and I think they're going to come stronger and stronger. And England is right in this game. No bones about that.
The Grand Slam in the balance, the championship in the balance. Back to Eddie and the team.
Jerry Toms, for 8 years the general manager of the Millennium Stadium, he's off for the last time. Dan Biggar will get us underway. They've all had a breather, else they'll all soon be breathing heavily again. What a first half. Lee Halfpenny takes it quickly, off we go. Dan Biggar. Long diagonal towards Mike Brown, whose tap tackle on George North is one of the moments of the championship. After he keeps it in field, Owen Farrell, neat footwork. Bigger. Alex good, yeah, it just wobbled in the air above his head. No wind, of course, with the roof being shut. It's a little aerial to begin with, and that's a mistake by Lee Halfpenny, and we haven't seen many of those.
Well, it was a battle of wills, wasn't it, and patience, and England won that one in the end. Very tempting to start a counter-attack from there, Shane, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly, and I think, you know, there's a bit of nerves by both teams at the start of the second half. It's a little bit of an arm wrestle, there's a kicking battle going on, and it's territory game at the moment.
Tom Youngs. Tom Croft at the front. Chris Robshaw digs it out.
Halfback!
It's good by England. Up to the 22, Wales scrambling back. It's on the floor now for Ben Youngs. Tom Croft and Joe Marler take up their places. Here's the prop. Here's the back row forward.
For more.
More, says Steve Walsh. Wales putting.
Well, he sends pretty clear, and it was pretty clear. England did the hard work, they did the balanced drive. You've got to understand there, got to get enough men. When England do play well, they get enough men into the breakdown, they get the ball back timorously. When they don't play well or they have trouble, they don't get enough men in or they don't clear the ball early enough, and that sort of thing results.
Alan Wynne-Jones receiving some attention. Everybody has a say. Well, actually, Toby Faletau is probably the one person, Shane, who doesn't say much.
No, he's a quiet guy off the field, and certainly on the field as well. He does all his talking and his physical attributes to the team.
Well, this is an area where Wales dominated in the first half. Very important in the second half for them that they keep the pressure on. And conversely, obviously, England have got to get into the game in this area.
Wales have another scrum penalty.
That's a big let off for Wales as well. It's a great area in front to clear the line, earn another 30 metres.
Well, we'll no doubt see the replay of that in a minute.
Yeah, mate, that's fine.
But on this side, certainly, Marler got buckled.
Dan Bigger takes Wales up to near halfway.
Watch here. Jones gets inside Marler, who bends. Fairly easy decision.
Full line out in front of Richard Hibbard. But it's well stolen by Tom Croft.
He couldn't do anything about it. We straight into a knock-on scrum, red.
Scrum, red put in.
Over them again. Could he do much?
England seem to have done their homework on Wales in the line-out. If they're not turning the ball over, they certainly seem to be getting close to that ball when it's being thrown in.
Changes in the England front row. Marco Vunipola comes on for Joe Marler.
Line-out flow is pretty marginal, eh?
Well, Marler struggling with Adam Jones. This man, fresh on, has to do a job.
Here you go, boys. Give me some patience, please. 18, White. Okay? 18 white. Crouch! Hooker's there, go there, left. Go left of it.
He wants to move him a centimetre?
Let's swap places, Steve. You go and hook and let him have the whistle. Just get on with it, for God's sake.
No. Wells put in on the halfway.
I'll talk to you again. If you move, you will be penalised. He keeps on creeping over here. I've told him. Be quiet and scrum.
Steve Walsh show at the moment.
Crouch. Touch. Set.
Another penalty to Wales. Something has happened. Steve Walsh has taken it on himself to penalise England heavily.
Just going to say, England got a big problem. He's decided that they're not complying with whatever they're doing. And England, whatever they do, they don't want scrums now because they're 80-0. They will not. This won't change.
Vunipola comes on and is penalised. It's become a worrying trend.
Well, let's look.
He needs to work head and shoulders as well.
Well, there is a bind there from Adam Jones. It's not where it should be on the body, but it is at least a bind.
Toby Faletau over the tail of the line out. Justin Tipuric hovers over the ball. Sam Warburton. Hibbard. Alan Wynne-Jones.
And this is what was effective earlier with Wales picking up and going up through the middle. Decided to come on the blind side here now. Vunipola with a great tackle and he's got his hands in there for the turnover.
Marco Vunipola, advantage being played. England with the advantage. Ben Youngs behind Alex Cuthbert. Halfpenny inside the wing. Back down towards the touchline. Tom Croft to Alex Good. A mistake by the other fullback.
At the moment, Wales have been far more streetwise than England. May just be a question of experience, I'm not sure. May be a question of occasion. But they are doing the things that are close to the margin. They're playing the referee and they're doing it completely rightly. England standing off and talking about what Wales are around doing. They're complaining to the referee. They need to get in there and mix it.
Wales, with this line out, they walk very deliberately to it. They know this could be important. Phillips, Roberts comes in flat and hard and goes through Chris Robshaw. Hibbard, he doesn't go through Vunipola.
It's two big hits already.
Alan Wynne-Jones to Adam Jones. Alan Wynne-Jones, done bigger. Jamie Roberts. George North. Faletau.
England about 3 yards offside there.
Phillips. Alan Wynne-Jones. Phillips cuts back the other way. Richard Hibbard. Tom Wood tries to slow down the ball. Tipuric. Sam Warburton takes it up hard and low. Alan Wynne-Jones again. Vunipola very much involved in the tackling process. Ian Evans.
Wales have just got to keep going through the phases, keep their composure, get closer to that white line, cause some fractures in that English defence.
Hibbard. Alan Wynne-Jones again. Keeping half an eye on that far touchline. England's defence good. Gethin Jenkins picks it up. George North. Falatau goes in, hauls a white shirt over. Gethin Jenkins. Phillips, Tipperick. Excellent tackling again. Still there for Mike Phillips. He goes on his own and runs into the brick wall. Dan Cole over the ball. It's there for Wales. Alan Wynne-Jones. Falatau, we have a penalty advantage. Wales can give it some variety with this advantage. Jamie Roberts. That's not variety. Gethin Jenkins places the ball. Dan Biggar. Jonathan Davis. And again, it's Vunipola with a tackle.
I wonder how long this advantage is going to go. It's not going to go any further. I was thinking about that. Well, there are 2 points to make out of that. You've got to be impressed by Wales' dedication to staying on message and going through the phases, and also England's defence.
Yeah, well, England's defence was very good there. All the way through that, they put Wales under pressure, but what Wales done well, they kept the ball, kept their patience, moved, even if it was an inch at a time. Eventually coming away with a 3-point attempt at goal. So great play by Wales, great defence by England.
Well, we had a little, I suppose it was a slow start to the second half, Brian. We went aerial for a few minutes. We seem to be brewing up again. Come to you in a minute, Brian. Jonathan.
Yeah, I think, the Welsh have thrown everything at the English, but just this epitomises the defence. Just watch. Jimmy Roberts goes in, Vunipola hits him on the gain line, gets over him and wins the turnover. You might be under pressure in the scrum, but his defensive qualities have been really strong for England.
Crucial here because increments in these games are very important. It will keep the Welsh momentum in forward. When Owen Farrell can't put it down, but did miss one, heads go down slightly. Converted score, and it's over the 7 points as well.
It's over the 8 points. 7 points comes with conditions. 8 points is the title for Wales. He's done it. Wales 12, England 3. But these are still the early stages of the second half. There is a long way to go.
And the other point, Shane and I were discussing this at half-time about the relative benches. England have a lot of caps on the bench, as many, if not more than some of the players on the field, and at some point they're going to have to use them, and we will see. Here they go. Here we go.
England make changes. Dylan Hartley comes on for Tom Youngs at hooker. So they've changed 2/3 of their front row. Wales would win if the score stays as it is. Mike Phillips with the clearance. A pause for Brian.
Well, it will be interesting to see what difference Dylan Hartley makes, not just in terms of his size or whatever, but obviously Steve Walsh had a beef with where Youngs or what Youngs was doing. He's not there anymore. Let's see if it was a dissatisfaction with the player or with the team.
Courtney Laws has come on. He's come on for Joe Launchbury. So Laws into the second row. Tom Croft won a lot of line-up ball. Well picked up, Madu Tuilagi. Jamie Roberts holds him up. Chris Ashton with a heavy boot. Footwork. Gethin Jenkins with the tackle. Chris Robshaw, the England captain. It's out for Ben Youngs. He looks up and finds Owen Farrell. Brad Barrett, tackled by Dan Biggar. Youngs to Vunipola. Youngs again. Inside switch to Mike Brown, who didn't come onto it at great pace, but it's still there. Farrell, Tuilagi. Again, it's Jamie Roberts with the tackle.
I think it was on there for Tuilagi to pass that. Jamie Roberts came in on the blitz defence. There was room on the outside.
Tom Wood. Advantage Wales.
I think Mike Phillips with the rip of the ball there. He's turned the ball over.
Damage over.
Smashes it downfield. Kin Owens is on as a replacement in the Welsh team. Alex Good runs into Toby Faletau. Youngs looks up again, finds Farrell. Brad Barrett. One of the replacements, Mako Vunipola. Courtney Laws drives over the ball. A tester from Owen Farrell towards George North, who catches it superbly and then wriggles and places the ball. Ken Owens arrives. Toby Faletau is at number 8. He leaves it for Mike Phillips. This can't go straight out. Jonathan Davis. Cleverly done. Cleverly done. Alex Good. Lee Halfpenny comes forward. He's been solid all Six Nations. Welsh forwards do some useful driving work. Bigger. Jonathan Davis. Vunipola with the tackle.
Vunipola's tackle stats must be through the roof at the moment. He's only been on 10 minutes, but he's tackled everything.
Mike Phillips. North heads up, tackles Owen Farrell, who then gives it. Dylan Hartley, 16 on the deck. Courtney Laws over the ball. Barrett. Ben Youngs. Chris Robshaw. Ben Youngs. Dylan Hartley leaves the ball behind, but it's there for Tom Woods. Ken Owens tries to rip it clear. It's there for Justin Tipperick. Mike Phillips with Jonathan Davis and Alex Cuthbert against Mike Brown. Cuthbert, hands off Brown. Cuthbert for the line.
That's a wonderful finish
by Alex Cuthbert. First try of the game. How important will it be? The lead stretches out.
Such an important time to score as well. It was back and forth throughout the last 10 minutes. Wonderful finish by Cuthbert.
Yeah, but the credit for that must go. He finished it off well, but it must go to the forwards for turning that ball over. Owens in there, dogged, and England worked precisely enough to get enough men into the breakdown, which has been their problem. They skewed out the right, and Wales made it count.
Alex Cuthbert showing plenty of pace there, but he had a lot to do. Brown certainly had the angle on him. Fantastic handoff, put him on his backside and finished off.
And this is the work here. Oh, he tries to rip once, twice again, and because of his pressure, it spills out left. He doesn't actually win it outright, but he does enough for it to be untidy.
There's a lot of work to do here. Brown's got the angle, big handoff. Great pace to finish in the corner. What a time to score for Wales.
That man gets the glory. The forwards do the work. It's always been thus, isn't it?
Yeah. Got to give him some credit there, Brian.
Alex Cuthbert scores his third try in this season's championship. Lee Halfpenny, this to extend the lead to 16 points. Slides wide. 17 points. Wales, England 3.
It's a long way back for England now, especially under the pressure they've been in the scrum as well. The line hasn't worked, hasn't functioned as well as they thought it would do.
And this kick-off's so important as well. Wales are going to want to catch this and get the ball back down into the England half.
Mike Phillips catches it under pressure. From Chris Ashton. Somebody has to play scrum half. And they have 5 seconds only. Sam Robertson has to play it quickly. Didn't risk the pass. And again, it's the 5-second call. Mike Phillips kicks himself. Wales need to manage this area carefully, and England need to start countering. Jamie Roberts hangs on to Chris Robshaw's leg. Vunipola just gets inside Gethin Jenkins. Farrell. Toby Faletau, great tackle. Tom Wood, tackled by Jonathan Davis. A little sniff from Mike Brown. Adam Jones the tackle. Wales, high tackle.
I think that was a little bit harsh.
Jonathan.
Yeah, I think, Wales just scored that try, but this is like a 10-point turnaround. Just watch this opportunity. There we are, dummy pass. If Tuolagi gives that, he just straightens up. There's 1, 2, 3 against 1. He takes her in, missed opportunity. Wales go up and score a great try.
Owen Farrell, this to start the comeback. Toby Faletau, high tackle, Brian.
You didn't call that. You said it was a good one. What is important here is that Farrell puts this over. It's not an easy one. All of 42, 3 metres. Because England are under, they've been under pressure in nearly every phase. Wales have been more streetwise, have been more physical. England need this to hang on. Going to the last 20, if they can just hang on, then there's at least a possibility.
The flags stay down again.
Just to the left again, and as you said, Brian, wouldn't be an important time to get a 3 points. Puts the advantage back with Wales. Wales will want to get this 22 kicked as long as possible.
A little bit of gamesmanship going on. Dan Biggar and Dylan Hartley just teasing him.
Well, nothing wrong with that. You don't have to put the ball down. You're in the lead. Run the clock down.
Ball's in play. Now then, Dan Biggar is going long. Alex Good. Toby Faletau goes low and can't grab the England fullback. Farrell. Marco Vunipola, Mike Phillips. They're trying to keep him up. This will be interesting. It is a maul, says the referee.
They've certainly done a good job to keep up Marco Vunipola.
Going to be turned over, is this?
Wales do get the put in.
See, the thing is, as soon as the referee calls a maul, it doesn't matter whether you're on the floor, kneeling or whatever, you can depose the ball. There's no reason why you have to let go. Even if you're wrong side, you don't have to let go of the ball. So it's a hugely important call, and once he's done it, you're going to be quids in. Is that the Welsh truth it is?
Do you think? Do you reckon?
Well, I would take a wild stab in the dark, probably.
The captain, Gethin Jenkins, is going off. Brian.
And he's done his work, he's had a good game. And Warburton, the captain.
Okay, no pressure, Sam.
Sam Warburton takes over the leadership of Wales.
Paul James had a strong game last week up in Scotland. He'd be glad to be on the field now with 20 minutes to go.
Another penalty for Wales at the scrummage.
Stay off the arm.
Coming off the arm.
Coming off the arm.
See, okay, come this up now.
Well, the bind is supposed to be on the shirt, actually. Here we go. Gets caught too high. Dan Cole. If you get banged up into there, as soon as your body goes above horizontal, you've got to be monumentally strong to be able to reverse that, and hardly anyone is.
We are in the.
But as I say, Eddie, all round England to be given just just that bit more streetwise. They just play more on the margins, more on the edge. They're just getting there, and cumulatively, that's making a big difference.
Captain Robshaw, this is replacement Ken Owens, very lively from the hooker position. Ian Evans has been a towering figure. He hadn't played for 6 months and he came in against Ireland and has kept his place and just been a rock for Wales. Adam Jones comes away with it. That's his longest trundle of the championship. Mike Phillips waits. Faletau.
That was a 30-yard run for Adam afterwards, I can assure you.
Faletau made good ground. This is good for Wales as Roberts goes crashing through slightly on his own. It is there for Phillips. Alan Wynne-Jones. Vunipola with a tackle. One more for his personal tally. Jonathan Davis cuts against the stream and breaks the tackles. Phillips. Bigger. George North, acting scrum half, goes that way, pulls himself back.
Boys, come
Wales will want to stay away from that touchline.
They do. It's slowed down a bit. Alan Wynne-Jones takes it up. George North off the wing. Owen Farrell with the follow-up tackle, the assist. It's still there. Where is Dan Biggar? Is he looking for the three-pointer? Not yet. Ken Owens.
Well, this is going to stay close because all the Welsh players are within about 15 metres either side. They're now widening the options. Widening.
Dan Biggar's drop for the 20 for the drop.
He knew it. He turned away. The 3 points that may decide the game. Dan Biggar with a drop goal.
A little bit of composure, a little bit of streetwise play, nothing else. Sit back, take the three. Wales have been hugely impressive today, not just in terms of their physicality, but their mental approach to this game has been right on the money.
England ring the changes. The last throw of the dice. Danny Kerr comes on at scrum half. Billy 12 trees into the centre. Alex Good is going off. There'll be a ridge. Mike Brown will go to fullback presumably. Jonathan Davis goes up for it. Knock on by England. Lee Halfpenny under pressure from 12 trees.
Has Lee Halfpenny made a mistake? He's been absolutely magnificent.
So has this player, Toby Faletau. The workhorse of the Welsh team. Sam Warburton storms away. Owen Farrell makes the tackle. Warburton still on his feet. Rampant Wales. Biggar. Lee Halfpenny. Jamie Roberts just in Tipperick. Cuthbert outside him. Tipperick. Still going to Cuthbert. Cuthbert second try. Wales are storming to the title. It has been a fascinating second half and it is turning into a rout.
Unbelievable play by Wales there. All started with a Sam Warburton run, another 30-yard break. Tried the Maori sidestep in the end, but Justin Tipperick, fantastic ball carrier, fantastic ball player, just held the ball long enough to put Cuthbert in the corner. Great play by Wales.
Well, you can't fall off first-line tackles like that, because once you get turned like that, especially when you concede 50, 60 metres at a time, and the impressive thing about Wales, not only the drive, was the fact that quite often people panic when they go through, held the lines, stayed straight, put the chance away. Cairns just come on, he's gone high, you can't go high on Warburton anyway.
It's what we spoke about earlier. England aren't putting any players into that ruck. Sam Warburton saw that, went straight through the middle, made a 30-yard break. Tipperick here does brilliantly well. One dummy, keeps hold of it, waits for Brown to make a second tackle and just makes an easy offload. Great play by Justin Tipperick.
You watch on the left-hand side there when Tulangi came up. He was caught in no man's land. He drifted early in front of the line, but he didn't hit the man. You've got to either hit the man or you've got to get the ball. You've got to do one or the other. You can't do that.
Beautiful kick by Dan Biggar. The 2 points, it is 27 points to 3. All the predictions we all made were that this would be close. It is 27 points to 3.
Just notice as well, Lee Halfpenny's, he limped back there to the 22. Looked like he may have had a bang on the thigh. It'll be interesting to see whether he stays on or somebody comes on for Lee Halfpenny.
Toby Flood is on for Owen Farrell. Justin Tipperick. It seems the combination of Tipperick on the open side and Sam Warburton on the blind side is working.
Definitely paid off. Both Sam Warburton and Justin Tipperick have been immense today. They've been everywhere. The work rate has been incredible. And the gamble's paid off.
Mike Brown from fullback. Penalty to England. They must take it quickly. Danny Kerr's trademark tap and go. To James Haskell is on. He wins his 50th cap. Not in the happiest of circumstances, but it's still a milestone for him. Courtney Laws batters into midfield. Toby Flood. Mike Phillips makes the tackle. Ken Owens over the ball. His half steal all important in the tries. Tuilangi in field. Jamie Roberts intercepts. Stays away from the touchline. Alan Wynne-Jones. Penalty to Wales.
I think Mike Brown's got to move away from the ruck there.
Yeah, I just think watch the first try. It worked. Just watch. It's great work by Ken Owens first of all. He goes in, he makes a nuisance, ball comes out, and Tipuric shows his footprint ability, and now it's a 2-on-1. Mike Brown does exceptionally well. He gets it, but this is an out-and-out international winger. Get off. Owen Farrell doesn't get near him. What the finish.
You know what I mean? Well, it's funny because Brown will be given a bit of a stick about the handoff, but he was putting it in impossible because once he's chasing there.
Well, he's having a bit of stick up the ball as well at the moment. He's having a tough time out there, but like Jonathan said, he got into a good position. He shouldn't have been in that position anyway. He should have the defence inside him to push that touchline. It just wasn't there.
Sam Warburton having one of the games of his life. Wins the line out, and here's another star of the show, Justin Tipuric. Courtney Laws lays a great long telescopic arm on him. He says, "You're going nowhere." Penalty advantage Wales. They'll take their time now. What do they do?
Good question, Eddie. 24 points ahead. Do they put England under pressure and kick for the corner, or do they go for the 3 points?
They go for the 3 points. Just keep adding, putting more misery in. Sean Edwards will be very, very happy about this.
This is interesting as well because Daniel Biggar stepping up for the kick. As I said earlier, I think Lee Halfpenny's took a knock on the quad.
He's having more attention, Lee Halfpenny, as another replacement comes on. It's Andrew Coombs. Well, he came in as a late replacement in the first game. He played so well that he retained his place for 2 full matches before Alan Wynne-Jones came back on, and he's coming on to finish off what he started.
Well, the back row battle today has been decisively won by the Welsh. There have been contributing factors to that, though. England's rocking at the set pieces hasn't helped. The fact they couldn't get any go forward hasn't helped. But the Welsh have dominated this game.
Dan Biggar, a little bit of fade on it, beautifully struck. More points, Wales 30, England 3.
And when this is reviewed in the colder light of day, not the alcohol-fueled haze which it will be tonight, you will find that Wales have been very clinical.
Billy Twelvetrees comes away with it. Tom Croft. Kerr to Captain Robshaw, who doesn't get beyond Dan Biggar, but still Kerr to Flood. That's an excellent tackle, but Toby Falatau's work rate is massive. George North against Chris Ashton. Ashton delivers the ball back.
Of the second half.
Toby Flood is through. Lee Halfpenny makes a try-saving tackle. Still there for England. Mike Phillips with the interception nearly. He was offside. It's going to be a penalty for England.
Well, it would spoil the game, so he won't get a yellow card, but in that zone.
Quickly taken, Brad Barrett. A metre short, 2 metres out. Danny Kerr, James Haskell. Oh, good tackle on him. Mind you, England had numbers. That's no by Danny Kerr.
I think that's a drop out 22 as well, which makes it even worse. Complete opposite to what Wales have been doing. They've got to be patient when they're 5 metres out from the try line. England, by kicking it there, that's just criminal.
Jonathan.
Just watch this second try. Just watch the brilliance of that Tipuric. We run it on. As the ball comes out, okay? He's in front of the player who receives the ball, but just watch him. He reads the play, he steps back, and then he gets away. He's got Barrett inside him, an international centre. He burns him off for pace, okay? And then just watch this. Takes the tackle, offloads to the winger. What great play by an open side flanker.
Yeah, I played a lot with Justin Tipuric. He would be very comfortable playing for international rugby as a 12 or 13, I can assure you.
Here comes Chris Ashton. England on the halfway line, no way back. This is David Wilson, who's just on for Dan Cole.
Come on!
Pascal knocks on. Well, Brian, it could have been a Grand Slam celebration. It's drifting away.
Well, it's short. The reality is, England's a developing side. This is where they are. They are not a Grand Slam side yet, and it's been shown decisively. Wales have played. They've been outplayed today. You can't make any excuses.
And Shane, were it not for an opening 45 minutes against Ireland, what might it have been for Wales?
Well, it's such a turnaround. Absolutely, as far as Wales are concerned, it was a rubbish 40 minutes with a performance. They were poor in defence. Certainly didn't do anything in attack. And today, you know, we've shown exactly what we could do with ball in hand, and it's been a wonderful performance in the end.
The one point I would make, Shane, though, is you obviously happy with this, and to beat England especially, but it shouldn't stop there for Wales. Beating England is not the big be-all and end-all. Beating the Southern Hemisphere teams is the be-all and end-all. That's where this Welsh team should be.
Well, and that's the next step. You know, with 7 minutes left here, we're ahead 27 points against England. We will win today, and we move on. We're playing against a team that was playing for the Grand Slam. We've stepped up. We certainly showed the home crowd what we can do. It's time to move on from there.
Scott Andrews comes on into the front row in place of Adam Jones, who went off to a hero's reception.
Well, they know just how fully he has contributed to this win, not just in the tight, in the loose as well. Fantastic performance.
Free kick at the scrum.
I don't think he's going to take this one quickly, Eddie, to be honest with you.
Wales go for the scrimmage.
This whole sequence thing, which has bedeviled this Six Nations, is a farce. It's ridiculous.
Now then, here we go. Sean Edwards sitting down there with the bald head. Andy Farrell will be the defensive coach on the Lions tour. Warren Gatland chose him above Sean Edwards. I don't suppose Sean Edwards had much of a point to prove, did he, Shane?
Well, Sean, as we saw from that clip, looking really happy with the Wales win and the performance. But it was all about today. It was all about today with Sean. He's very proud, and he just wanted Wales to do well, and they've certainly proved him right this week.
Well, Steve Walsh has just said that if it happens again, it'll be a penalty kick, this set thing.
Mike, in here.
The sequence of calling makes no difference at all to what happens in the scrum.
Brian, you know you say about feeding the Southern Hemisphere countries. Do you see those faces England will do today?
Well, that's a positive ambition which should not be tolerated.
Off Wales go in the scrummage again. Or they could do this for 5 minutes just to make it hurt a little bit more.
Let's go Moose in again. Low again. Let's go.
Well, there you have. They're not massively out of kilter, but the fact is that Wales have made the ones that count.
I think the gain line success is the big thing. If you can get over that gain line, it's so much easier with ball in hand to get over that line again and move forward. And as you can see from the stats, Wales have certainly dominated that area.
They certainly dominated
as well
this
as
area.
England are in disarray now at that point. They simply do not know what to do to get on the right side of Mr. Walsh, and Wales are taking full advantage of it, as indeed they should do.
More changes. Scott Williams comes on, Aaron Schindler comes on, James Hook comes on, off goes Sam Warburton.
And isn't it great that they can all get on for a championship win?
It is, and a lot of these boys, certainly haven't played many minutes in the championship. It's great to see Scott Williams on as well. We all know what he did against England last year. And James Hook as well. Obviously, we want him to get ball in hand.
That'll do for starters from James Hook.
That's the equivalent in the front row of scoring a try. That is enough if you're in the front row.
And it's great to see that you can change the front row and they still be dominant in the scrum.
Well, the good thing from Wales' point of view, they're all young players.
Ken Owens comes on. Ken Owens throws and finds Andrew Coombs. Scott Andrews, number 18, has it at the tail. Aaron Shingler alongside him. Andrews. It's there for Lloyd Williams, the new scrum half. Paul James sets up again. Lloyd Williams. Alan Wynne-Jones. James Haskell has to get out of there. He does. Ken Owens, the hooker. Hook. Jonathan Davis. Aaron Shingler with a first touch. Lloyd Williams. Players suddenly give a bit of width to the right. Scott Williams, scorer last year of the try at Twickenham. Alan Wynne-Jones. He's had a good game too.
He's been tremendous. He's worked his socks off from first to the 80 minute, as he always does, to be fair.
Ken Owens takes it almost to the very edge, and now they have to go back into Alan Wynne-Jones again.
Well, Wales are looking for another try, that's for sure. They're not content in just winning by 27 points.
Oops, it doesn't work. James Hook. Ball gone loose for Tom Croft. Toby Flurden has a chance of a breakout for Mike Brown. Mike Brown, long run. Alex Cuthbert gets back. Ball goes forward. Jonathan Davis scoops up the scraps.
It's been the story of the match so far for England, really.
Lee Halfpenny. Hook. Tom Croft is back there. Oops, and he knocks it on. And that is pure disgust.
Well, when it's not going for you, it isn't going for you. And in contrast, there are many players who could have got man of the match. And it isn't just for this contribution of setting up this try that I picked him as the man of the match, because he's had an exemplary specialist open side game on the floor. He has been the one that's got there first. Warburton's backed him up. Faratau's driven off, but he's just been a complete number 7 today. Deserved winner.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved. Fantastic player. He's had the chance to play today with Sam Warburton. The gamble's paid off. Not only has he worked hard and tackled everything, he's created 2 tries as well.
And that well may also played him into the Lions' position, because number 7 specialist, I think they need one down there.
Faratau spills it. There will be such weariness out there.
Let's go. Sorry, Jones.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. It's a massive bit that's been played with such high tempo from start to finish. The boys will be out on their feet, but I'm sure we'll still see the Welsh team dancing at the end of this.
The thing is, O'Shea, you know as well as I do, to be out on your feet when you're winning, you can keep going. When you're on the other end of it, you just want it to end. And England will just want it to end because they've been thoroughly outplayed today. Congratulations to Welsh. They've done the job they needed to, and some more.
Well, you can see it in the body language. Wales are looking for another try. I think England are just ready to go home. It's been one of those days, really.
George North turns and scoops it up. Kicks for himself to chase. Mike Brown has the ball. We're into overtime. Stand by for the roar. That goes with the title. Not yet. It's a penalty to England. Jeff Parling. Parling escapes. And he's on his own. The big second row for England. Lee Halfpenny called on to make the tackle, and he does. Overlap. England. Brad Barrett doesn't see it. Tuilangi picks up. Cuthbert makes the tackle on him. Aaron Shingler slows things down. Billy Twelvetrees. Parling drops the ball. That's it. Wait for it. It's celebration time at the Millennium Stadium because the title for the 2013 RBS Six Nations goes to Wales. They needed to win by 8 points. They have won by 27 points. Wales 30, England 3.
Well, better in every area, more streetwise, more experienced. But what was it? Even you can have all that on paper anyway. You've still got to go out and do it. And today, right from the first whistle, they were on the mark tactically, they were on the mark physically and mentally, and it was a very impressive win.
Well, a great win by Wales, dominated in all areas. Seemed to, take the Grand Slam week in the stride. A very nervous England performance, a lot of mistakes, a lot of tries from turnovers. Thoroughly deserved win. Wales need to move on from here now, looking into the summer.
$74,104. Most in red, most celebrating, because these players in red have done such a job today. The coaches in red have done such a job. It has been a wonderful day for Welsh rugby. They have beaten England, they have taken the Six Nations crown.
I'm sure I saw Sean Edwards smiling then.
Well, no need for calculators or abacuses. Only one winner in Cardiff tonight and in the championship overall. Congratulations to Wales retaining the Six Nations title and retaining it in style as England's Grand Slam dreams perished in what was in the end a very one-sided second half. And Jonathan Davis, where did that Wales performance come from, and what an extraordinary gulf in performance compared to that first half against Ireland at the start of the championship.
As I said, it's just a matter of confidence, I think, at this level. They've been Grand Slam winners.
Let me just interrupt for a second. Here's the man of the match with Sonia McLaughlin.
Well, Justin, Six Nations champions, how does that sound?
A bit unreal, really. I think it's a dream, to be honest. Never really thought that we played so well in front of a great crowd. Well, the boys are outstanding. Everyone works so hard for each other. It's brilliant.
Are you a little surprised, though, at the manner of your victory?
Yeah, well, we know what we could do. We've been talking about it all week. We've been ready since Monday. We were ready to play the game Tuesday, and to turn up Saturday and such a great performance, we got chuffed a bit.
It's been quite some turnaround after that poor first half from the very opening weekend against Ireland. What do you put it down to?
Yeah, we had a lot of bad media, but I think it gave us a bit of a kick up the backside. We stayed tight and we just worked so hard in training, and it brought us tighter.
I think you're going to work a bit hard this summer. I think you're off somewhere down under. Well done, you're deserved RBS man of the match, Justin Tipuric. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So as the majority of the 74,000 here celebrate the Welsh title, there's confirmation that on points difference, and substantial points difference because they scored nearly 30 more than England, Wales, with a record victory over England in Cardiff in terms of points margin, are the champions. England will finish in second place, and as you can see from that result in Rome today, Italy beating Ireland, which means Ireland will get the wooden spoon if France beat Scotland in Paris tonight, and that's the last match of the Six Nations Championship, live on BBC Two at 7:30 tonight. Pictures there of Brian Jones, the injured Welsh captain from last weekend, who's missed out on this moment of triumph, and joy and elation in red and desolation in white. Clive Woodward, what was your take on that second half, especially when there really was only one team in it?
Well, it was. First of all, congratulations to Wales. It's a real privilege to be here, and what a magnificent second half from Wales. And England's glum faces from Catty and Stuart Lancaster, but they've contributed hugely to the tournament. Played four, just wasn't good enough in the last hurdle, but Wales were outstanding. But the second half, Tipuric, Warburton, the guys on the wing, just fantastic. So England have got a lot to learn from this. They will. They'll go away, they'll be very disappointed, but they've got a lot to learn from this, and you can learn a lot sometimes when you lose a game like this.
I think today, this afternoon, we saw 648 caps against 290 of England. The experience, having been there, done it before, it was it was a special performance by Wales, and I think they learned in the second half. They said, right, England aren't committing themselves to the breakdown. Let's pick and drive, let's go through the middle. And I think eventually Rob Shaw, his work rate has not stopped throughout this championship, but Tipperick and Warburton just, that back row balance for Wales was much better than the English back row.
Yeah, I just felt that the scrum, was always going to be the platform which Wales would dominate, and with that domination, the front five, Tipperick and Warburton and Faletau were absolutely immense. They absolutely bullied England, into submission. They kept possession, they charged and charged, and you've got to give England credit. They showed great character in the defence, but 2 moments of brilliance, a bit of vision from Tipperick, and that's why you pick wingers on the wing, because that's what they do at international. They finish off try-scoring opportunities. England had 1 or 2, but they didn't finish. But there was only one side in it in the second half.
In the autumn, Jonathan, all manner of despair had consumed Welsh rugby as the number of losses, consecutive losses, mounted up. What has Rob Howley done, and what has his coaching staff done to suddenly change the pendulum so totally?
I think Clive will understand it, because international rugby is all about winning. They went to Australia, Gatlin was injured, but they could have and should have won 2 of those 3 tests. Then they came back. They got a tough autumn, but then again, they lost narrow games they should have won. The second half performance against Ireland, I think when they just went, that's it, threw caution to the wind, and they played. And the win in France just turned that corner. And the last 3 games, they have played with confidence, with precision, and with sometimes domination. And I think you don't become a bad side overnight. They just had a bad run of results. This English side is a very, very good side, but maybe a couple of years behind where Wales were. And I think now that showed today in the second half.
This is a moment for talking about England in just a second, in a sense, if that is the future. If this is Wales's moment and the presentation is about to take place. What was when Mike Phillips tapped and went about 10 minutes or so into the first half, was that a declaration of intent from Wales that we're actually going to play this game at pace and with real intensity?
They needed to turn the temperature up in here and carry ball, and that's what they did. They carried ball, they took the game to England, that's what they did, and Mike was the catalyst of that.
Well, they turned the temperature up and they've turned the lights off, as you can see, and so bit by bit all the Welsh players are going to come up to get their winner's medal at the end of this RBS Six Nations Championship. And for the occasion and for the championship as a whole, how much better we actually have a team winning a game and winning the championship, rather than that terrible situation we've had on occasions in the past where the losing team has had to rather disconsolately and apologetically go and receive the trophy at the end. Clive, what's your assessment of the way that this Welsh team has changed in the last couple of months?
Well, I think they've had the same players. You just got to get some luck. The games they lost by small margins. But when you see them man for man, I think Wales have got an outstanding starting 15. They've got some good backup players now. But they were full strength today, and they were a scary team. Make no bounds about it. They would have taken on any team in the world today. And they were deserved winners. And England got to learn a lot by just looking at the way they play, the speed they played at, the way they play in the midfield, the back row. They've got a lot of footballers there, and they were just that yard too quick for England today. And England got to learn a lot from this defeat today.
Wales were quicker in every aspect of the game, it seemed today. They were on the loose ball. Their line speed in defence was just much superior than England's, and it was a big domination. That second half, it was just all-consuming, and England unfortunately didn't have enough experience and didn't kind of work out the answer to it. They couldn't speed up their game. They couldn't have the speed of thought or physically compete with the Welsh. It's disappointing, but as Clive said, they have to learn from this.
Huge cheer for Lee Halfpenny, who had an immense game at fullback under the high ball and seemingly taking the right option at every possible opportunity. And we keep talking about Lions selection because I'm sure Warren Gatland, who was here today, would have made a few notes, but I suspect most of the positive notes he will have made will have been players wearing red.
Yeah, I think so. I thought Lee Halfpenny was immense and has been immense throughout the tournament. But you have this kid who came in, Coombs, who came in the first couple of games, played well. Ryan Jones got injured, and then Gethin Jenkins took over his captaincy. Warburton has been very respectful. He's been out of form because Tipperick has been the form player. And today I think it's just it all came together. They've turned up, they played together. They were so powerful with ball in hand. It was absolutely incredible. So it's very difficult to pick out one individual, but for me, the back row today as an unit were absolutely fantastic.
Well, Ryan Jones goes up to collect his medal, and he will have watched with mixed feelings today, I'm sure, because he would have been so proud to have been part of this squad, but he would have been given anything to have been out on the field of play at the moment of triumph. And Gethin Jenkins gets his medal. And the Six Nations trophy sits rather forlornly on the table and then is lifted high by the victorious Welsh team, who are RBS Six Nations champions for 2013. Huge celebration in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff and across the whole of the Welsh nation. And it could be a long night, not just for the players and their nearest and dearest. It could be a long night for the tens of thousands in this stadium who are going to head off into the streets and the bars and the clubs of Cardiff this evening. But the feel-good factor that just will permeate through the city will be palpable, I think, when we walk outside. Just a couple of minutes or so before we go, and just to remind you, there is still one more match to come in the Six Nations this year, and that's in Paris tonight, where France plays Scotland. It's an 8 o'clock kick-off at the Stade de France. Our coverage starts at 7:30 on BBC Two, and we have a forum on the red button between 7 and 5:30 tonight.
Well, Stuart, another Grand Slam slips away, but are you stunned at the manner in which that one was denied?
Gutted. Going into half-time, we thought we had a decent first half. We realised we hadn't got all the execution right, and we didn't dominate the breakdown, and set piece was a problem, but we still felt we were going okay. But obviously, start of the second half, and the first quarter of the second half wasn't good enough, and Wales thoroughly deserved the win. No complaints.
Is there any sense that your England team were just overwhelmed by the occasion and by what was at stake?
I don't think it was a psychological thing. I know it was an occasion. I thought Wales played well, and we didn't turn up, and we didn't match their physicality. And rugby's a simple game when you come down to it, and their physicality was better than ours.
Hard line, Stuart, but thanks for you.
Party time in the Millennium Stadium, and it will continue for some time yet. In the last couple of minutes we got, let's just reflect from an English perspective about you saying, Clive, that you can often learn more in defeat than you do in victory. What specifically will England learn from this?
I think first thing, to win a Grand Slam away from home is a big ask on the last day of the championship, and the Welsh team behind me, just congratulations to everybody here. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
What they'll learn a lot, I think. They'll learn about the selection of the teams. I think you'll find in 12 months' time you'll see a slightly different England team. I think they've got to go out and really get a team that can attack and score tries. And you have to say there was only one team attacking-wise in the second half, and they just had some better players, and England got to learn. I think we've got the players behind the scenes, and those who are in possession of the shirts at the moment have just got to really sort of take it on board and learn. But it's a good squad. It doesn't change things by one bad result.
Let's just have some reflections on the championship as a whole, Guy. Jonathan, Wales the best team in the championship in the end?
Well, they didn't start well, but they've been immense, absolutely immense. They've just developed as the tournament has gone through. From the first half against Ireland, they knew what they had to do, and they've just gone out and done it, and they've improved every game. And I think it'll be difficult to look past a lot of these players on Lion selection.
Now here's the man who effectively won the match for Wales.
Well, Alex Cuthbert, many congratulations. Six Nations champions, well, for the second year in a row. How good does that feel?
It's indescribable, to be fair. And since coming into the squad last year, I think the last 2 years, it's been with such a great group of guys, and we fully deserve this. We've worked a heck of a lot on the last few weeks, and it's just all worked out at home as well, especially in front of the fans. Couldn't ask for anything better.
England were obviously coming here with a Grand Slam at stake. How determined were you to make sure that this was your day?
Yeah, well, we said from the start, well, obviously we had a bit of a blip at the start, but we've worked so hard the last few weeks, and we knew we didn't want to let go of that trophy as easy as it could, so we wanted that back, and I'm so happy we've got it back.
Many congratulations. Well, Rob Howley, what's the secret?
Well, the outstanding today. We talked about our discipline, attitude. This is better than the Grand Slam last year. To do what we've done today, and after that first 30 minutes, 40 minutes against Ireland, to turn around, they showed great fortitude, and they outclassed England today.
Did you seriously believe after that first half against Ireland on the opening weekend that this was still possible?
I think we kept on sending the message that good teams don't become bad teams overnight, and we were consistent with our message, and in fairness to the players have gone out and delivered, and I think that this is a unique place in world rugby, the Millennium Stadium, and we felt with our experience, with the crowd behind us today, we needed to start well. Our first 20 minutes was the foundation. I said to Stuart, they've had a 6-day turnaround, which is tough, and we wanted to take advantage of that, and we certainly did.
You most certainly did. Many, many congratulations. Well done to you.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.